Hello, Nikolai Markovich from Echolake Technologies, echolaketech.com. This video is the final in a series of videos on how to set up a storefront using Bubble. And in this video, you're going to learn how to set up the checkout so that you can use Stripe to charge end customers, and then also put in a commission for fees that you can charge your users. So let me just do a quick demo here. So this has been set up from a prior video. And on here you can see a cart, and nothing here is new. You can see it from the prior videos, which I'll put links in below. And basically the new part is when you click checkout now, you're going to see this new group here, which is going to basically be an area where you can enter your email address and credit card. And I should clarify, it's the end user. So your app, you create a storefront. Those storefront users who are your customers go and set it up to sell whatever products that they may have. And in this field right here that you see, this is where they would go and charge their end users. And as part of this, you can also get set it up so that you can get a fee for it. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing quite yet. I'm going to wait till the tail end of the video to walk through this again. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview to show you what we're going to be doing in this video and how to set it up. And I'm going to go over here for a moment to my Stripe account. And basically this is in the test environment for Stripe. And what you'll see here is you have different accounts, and I've showed how to set this up in another video. And just to give you an example, when you click on the payments here, so when this comes up, then you'll see that the payments, so this is the amount that would be in the cart, and then the fee here, this is going to be both the Stripe fee, which is 0.029% plus 30 cents per transaction, plus a fee that you would charge the businesses using your app if you wanted to set it up that way. And then the net amount is what would go to the business that's using your app for selling their products. Okay, so let's just jump right into the design here. And again, nothing is new on this, what you see here so far. On the pop-up, again, this is pretty much the same as the last video. To show how to set up the cart. What's new is when you click checkout here, okay? And basically on checkout, we have workflow. So we make changes to cart. And I'm gonna just jump over here to the data just for a quick second. So again, this is in a previous video, and we have under user, and we have cart, which is of type cart. So when a user comes onto the app who's going to buy whatever produce or whatever products the businesses that use your app, what they're going to sell, the user is going to have a cart. And in the cart, they're going to have cart items. And that's going to be a list of cart items here. And then basically the total price, which is going to be a summation of the total price within the cart, and then the user. So this is the user who's buying the stuff. And then the cart item, it's basically the price of the item, the quantity of the item, and then the store item. Now the store item is what the business sets up. So in this example, we are selling fruit, or this business is selling fruit. So for bananas, they're going to have a store item of bananas. And you need to have this in the cart for the end user buying it, because you've got price and quantity, and you don't want to impact the business owner's price. You want to impact the person who's buying it in their cart, in the cart item. Okay, so that's just a quick review on the data structure. Again, I'll put the links to the other videos on how to set up the data structure for this. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the parent group's cart, and then the total price is going to be the repeating group cart items, list of cart items. So let me just go back over here. Okay, so we've got this repeating group right here. Okay, so what we're doing in this workflow step is we're taking that repeating group's list of cart items, so all the cart items in there, we're taking the price of those, each one of those items. So if I have 5 different items in the cart, I'm going to take the price of each one of those and I'm going to sum those up to get the total price. And that's what this step does right here. And then what I'm going to do is set a state here, storefront with no login. So that's this right here. That's the page that we're on, storefront with no login. And then show payment group, and then we want to set this to yes. So basically, I want to just also go here quickly to show, so I'm on storefront with no login. If I hit the I here, and right there, show payment. Let me slide over show payment group. Okay, it's of type text. Its default is no. And what we do with this, I'm going to come over here and group checkout. Okay, so this is the group. It's got this conditional. And so when it is not no, which means yes, then we're gonna show this group. So storefront with no login, custom states, show payment group is set to no, or is not no, which another way of saying it is I could have said is yes, same thing. And basically on here, we're going to see this group and group checkout. And on here, all I did was I just put a repeating group on here, and it just shows all the cart items within the cart that user is buying, and just a description, unit price, and so forth, just to show, again, the user before they do the final checkout that they are going to go and buy these items here. Now over here, what we need for Stripe is we need their email address, because we're actually going to set up a customer in Stripe. And we need to have the name on the credit card, and their credit card number, month, year, expiration, and all that good stuff. Okay, and I also put on here just the total amount, so current users, carts, total price, and then the format of it. You know, set it up as currency. The default is number, but set it up as currency here. So then that way the user, let me just go back over to here, the user can see what the total amount is. Okay. Now when I click confirm, it comes over this workflow here. And what I'm doing here is, okay, this is where we calculate how much to charge the user and set things up for Stripe. And it's a little bit of a pain to set this up with Stripe, but let's just walk through it here. So I've got this, another one of these custom states, again, storefront with no login, that's the name of this page. Fee calculation. And what the value is the current user's cart total, and then what we do here is we multiply it by Stripe's fee. This is the 2.9%. And then Stripe also charges 30 cents for each transaction, so it's 2.9% plus 30 cents for each transaction. And I'm just sticking $5 fee. You could stick $1 fee, whatever fee that you want per transaction for the businesses to use your app, you can put it in there. If you have some other way, if you're doing it by subscription, you wouldn't put the 5 in here at all. And you would set up a subscription, which I am not covering in this video here. So there's that. And then, okay, what we are doing here is we're actually doing an adjustment to this fee that we calculated here. And the reason being, Bubble isn't necessarily the greatest when it comes to mathematical computations, so we have to kind of do this multiple steps. So this one here is basically calculating what the fee is going to be, and then what this is going to do is it's going to take that fee calculation, so fee calculation is a custom state. We're taking that fee calculation, multiplying it by 100, because when Stripe does the calculations, or the plugin does the calculations, you need to multiply by 100 to get it into the correct dollars. And then what we need to do is round it to 0, okay? And the reason why we need to do this is to get the correct calculation for Stripe. And what this is going to do, when Stripe has, so say the fee comes out to $1 1.055. Stripe is going to round that up to 1.06. Okay, because it's only going to have 2 decimal places. And this basically takes care of it. If it was 1.045, it would round up to 1.05. And if it was 1.044, it would go down to 1.04. So that's just to be aware of in the Stripe calculations, and this rounded to 0 will take care of that for you. So this basically, these 2 steps here set up the fee, which is what we see. Let me go back over here. It sets it up for this fee right here, okay, which includes both your fee as well as the Stripe fee. And then the next step is we open up this pop-up just to confirm the payment. Actually, we show it here. We open the pop-up here. In this, we're sending the data to that pop-up. So let's just quickly go over to this pop-up, confirm payments. And so what we have in here, oops, wrong button. Let me move this up. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're just showing the amount, the email address. So this is a lot of verification of the user who's entered in their email address, credit card, and all of that information there, which is required for the transaction to complete. And then you'll see on here as well, Stripe token A. So this right here, it's a little bit hard to see. This is basically this. Let me go over here. So Stripe token. So you want to click on Stripe token, and you add it on here. Okay. I'm just going to delete that because we don't need it. And you need this on here for the transaction to occur. And it needs to be, you see it visible here, but when you actually run the app, this is not visible, it's hidden. But you want to make sure that it's visible. So if you have this on another window, another pop-up rather, or it's hidden behind something, it's probably not going to work. You want to make sure that this Stripe the Stripe.js here is visible, the Stripe token. And I'm going to walk through the workflow on how that works in a moment here. The first thing is to confirm, and then on the confirm. So what we have here is yet another custom state, and the reason for this custom state is this is to prevent double clicking. Okay, so if a user's on here and they hit confirm and they hit it multiple times, you may actually get some double transactions or multiple transactions. So we want to prevent that from happening, and we do that by this. So basically when the button is pressed, we set up this, this custom state to yes, and I'm just going to go to the button so that when the storefront with no login, again, this page, processing payment is yes, then it's actually going to change the text on here, and it'll say, instead of confirm, it'll say confirming. And then it's going to also prevent it from being clicked. So you can only click it once. And then when the value is no, you can go back to clicking it, and the default text of confirm will show up. All right. And the next thing is Stripe.js platform create a customer. So there is a lot of different plugin options here. So Stripe.js platform, create, as you can see, I'm just going to quickly scroll through. You can see there's a lot of options. So this plugin is pretty robust, which is nice, but it can be confusing as well to use. So let's see, Stripe.js platform, create a customer, create a, where are you? Create a, probably passed it. I think I passed it. Create a customer. There it is. So that's what you want to pick right here. And fill out the fields. I'm just going to delete this because I have it here. So you want to have the user's email. And then you also want to have some description. And in here, it's basically the current page user. So just as a reminder, current user is actually the person who's buying something, the produce, the fruits on this page. And current page user is the business. So this is whoever is, I don't remember, what's the name of this? Let me just cancel out of this. All right, so it's Joe's A1 Business. So that's who the current page user is. And the current user it's nobody. It's anonymous. They didn't, for this particular page, there is no login required. Okay, the next thing we need to do is convert card into a Stripe token, into Stripe token A. Now Stripe token A, I'm just going to come back over here. See that? Stripe token A. If I go, just to kind of quickly show you, Stripe token, if I add it, this is going to be Stripe token B. Okay, so just make sure you're aware of which Stripe token you're using whenever you use this plugin. Okay, so we've got convert card to Stripe token, to Stripe token A. And I'm going to show you, because this is, scroll up. Okay, this is not part of the plugins here. This is actually a element action. Okay, so plugin is what we use for creating a customer. Element action is what we're going to be using for converting the card into a Stripe token. So create card into Stripe token is what you want to pick. So that's right here. It's the same as right there. And I'm just going to delete that because we're going to fill out this one. Actually, it's already filled out for us. So Stripe token A, it's the only choice. Input credit card number, so it's looking for the card number. The expiration month, which is a drop-down. Expiration year, it's also a drop-down. CVC number, the cardholder's name, and I'm just going to scroll down. The other thing you want to make sure, these are all optional, the addresses and so forth. You can certainly add those on there and put them in the invoice and all that if you'd like to. The thing you will need is the country code. So here in the United States, it's US, and the currency code is USD. So depending on where you're located, you're going to have a different country code and currency. But make sure those are filled out as well. Then we go and we hide the pop-up, and then we set that custom state back to no, so then we can, that button, this button here, confirm, is enabled for the next transaction. Now, I need to come back here for a moment to show you another important thing with using Stripe.js. So right here, we created a customer. Here, we created a Stripe token. Okay. Now, what you need to do also is we have Stripe token A couldn't be created, and Stripe token A for a card has been created. Now, you need to add those, and I'm just going to come over here, and they're under elements. So I just clicked on here to add an event, element, and Stripe token for a card has been created. So this, let me just click on that so you can see. Okay. So this goes, I want to delete the right one. This goes hand in hand with this workflow here, this particular step. So when you convert the card, okay, into a Stripe token, this one here is when a Stripe token for a card has been created. So you need both of those steps. That's very critical. And what you're going to have here is, this is where we actually do the charging within Stripe. So seller ID. Now the current page user biz account. I'm just going to come over the data structure. This is, I showed how to do this in a prior video. Now under user, we have biz account number. Okay, this biz account number gets set up, again in another video. When you set up the business accounts, you're going to need to go and create the workflow that's going to set up the biz account Stripe number for the seller. Again, another video shows you, I'll have the link for that below as well. So you want to have that value needs to be in here. The amount, so current amount, so this is just basically the total amount here. And again, multiplied by 100. Now this is the fee, okay? So this is again that custom state. Now again, custom states, you can store values in it, which we've done in this, and it's got the adjusted fee calculation. Currency code, US dollars. Test charge, I just randomly put in test charge. Company, again, you can put in whatever company. I could have made it dynamic here. Capture now. I want to say, let's see here. So charge payment. So let's come back over here because I kind of missed a step or skipped a step. So seller, again, we want to come, see, a lot of these are, and it's pretty well organized, but there's still a lot of choices on here. So seller, and then we want to charge payment. So charge payment. Okay, right here. Okay, and it does come up true. I thought this came up with false, but it doesn't. So you can see all the default values in here, and you just need to fill those all in. Delete that. And there we go, delete. Sometimes you'll see this as in false. I do think that in some of the other versions of charge payments, this comes up as false. You want to set this up as true, and that'll do an immediate payment. If you set it up as false, or if you see false here, it's going to delay the transaction from happening. So just make sure that this is set up for true. And then you basically, this Stripe token's card token. So there's options on here. Okay, so bank account token, ID number token, so on and so forth. You want to choose card token. So it's at the top here, and that's what you want to choose for that. And basically that's the complete transaction within Bubble with the plugin, the Stripe.js plugin, and interacting with Stripe. And that's how you go and make that transaction happen. And then afterwards we just, let's see what we got here. Display data, so we want to send this data into a verification pop-up here, and then we show the pop-up. And that pop-up is payment verification. So basically after the transaction is done and the interaction between your Stripe account and your Bubble app is done, then this pop-up occurs just to show that the total amount has been charged to the user's credit card. And I do have in here also an issue with credit card. Let me just back up to the workflow. So Stripe token A couldn't be created. Again, this is, come over here, Stripe token has an error running where it couldn't be created. No, right here, couldn't be created. So we want to choose that here. And then basically, you just have a pop-up. Now this could be, I'm going to go back over here, oops. Okay, this could be when the user is filling out their credit card information and either they don't have the right number of digits for their credit card, they leave a field blank, or they pick like a year. That's one thing you want to make sure for the year. So on here, I've got 2018 up through 2030. In a couple of days from now, I'm going to remove the 2018 since we are close to January 1st, 2019 as I record this video. So if there's an error with that, then this is what will capture it, that the Stripe token couldn't be created and that there is an error. So that is basically setting up the entry fields here for the credit card of the buyer and then going through the process. So let's give it a try here and do a screen refresh. Now I've got some cart items in here, so I'm just going to do 10, and so this is going to be $35 total in my cart. I'm just going to do a simple one. I'm going to check out. Okay, and I'm just going to do buyer@test.com. That's their email address, completely made up, and the name is a buyer. Now for Stripe, they actually have test credit card numbers to use, and so 42, this series of 42s, this is a specific one that Stripe provides you in your test environment to go and use for test purposes. And I'm just going to pick that and that. 987 there. And you can see I actually have some credit cards are for 3, some are for 4, so 9876. Confirm. Okay, you can see here $35, contact information, so on and so forth. Confirm. You You can see I keep pressing on it, nothing's happening, it's confirming. Bubble is doing its thing, and that is it. Right, there it is. Pop up, $35 has been charged. Okay. Now let's just go over here, and I'm going to do accounts, because you can see I created a bunch of different accounts on here. So Joe's A2 Business is the one, and again, other videos I show you how to set that up. There we go, $35. Now if I click on that, it's going to open up another window for payments. Okay, so $35 was the amount. $6.32 is what the fee was. So this is the $5, and assuming the math is right, $1.32 is what goes to Stripe. So that's the 30 cents plus the 2.9% for the $35. So this basically means that Joe's A1 business gets $20.68. So that's how you can see it in Stripe. And basically, that's all there is to setting up this final step for doing the transaction. Again, there's other videos in this series to show you how to set up the storefront and the business account in Stripe. In this video here, it just kind of is a capstone where I show you how to have the end customer set up their credit card and do the transaction and make the payment, and how it shows up in Stripe. I hope you like this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. If you have any comments, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And I do have other videos coming out. If you subscribe to my channel, then you will get notified by YouTube of my new videos. And with that, it's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video series, and Happy New Year.